Hello everyone, welcome to the Tableau tutorials. In this video, we are going to see one of the most important concept, and that is the dual axis concept in Tableau. So what happens with the dual axis concept is that suppose there is a visualization, like right now we are dealing with a visualization that is subcategory wise profit. Okay, let me just quickly make another visualization, that's sheet 2, and let me make another visualization that is going to be the subcategory wise sales. Okay, so these are the two different visualizations. Let me just drag the labels part also over here. Okay, so these are the two different visualizations, and suppose you don't want two different visualizations for this, like you want to know in a single visualization only that suppose I'm talking about copiers. So I see that okay, it is giving me a profit, the highest profit of $55,000. If I want to know what is the total sales that I made through copiers, I have to come to the second sheet. I have to search for this copiers, and then I would be getting the sales amount generated from copiers. So that is a tedious task, right? So in order to overcome this, what we can do is we can group the parameters together into a single axis, at least two parameters, and that is known as the dual axis property. That is inbuilt by Tableau. However, in case you want to combine more than two parameters, then how are you going to proceed with it? This is also we will see, but first things first, that is the simplest thing, the dual axis concept in Tableau. So let me just create a new sheet and let me just rename it as dual axis. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I would be needing the subcategory only, because I would be creating subcategory wise sales and profits visualization. Okay, so subcategory has been there. Let me just drag sales over here. So these are the bars that I got. Let me arrange it, change its color to, let's say, green, change its view to entire view, and yeah, that's it. I'm not going to work with labels for now. Okay, next is the profit. So what can I do is just drag this profit into this rows pane. Okay, when I drag this is the kind of a chart that is being generated. This is called a dual chart. This is not a dual axis, this is a dual chart. Okay, why is it not a dual axis? Because you see there is only single axis, the sales axis, and in the second chart there is only a single axis, that is the profit axis. Okay, why is it called a dual chart? Because two different parameters are being shown on the axis, while the same parameter, that's the subcategory, is shown on the line. Okay, now how can we combine these two? First of all, what we need is we don't need them to be cluttered, because if we just combine them two, then what will happen, sales and profits would be just cluttered with one another. So how can we proceed with it? If you take a look at this, this is how the marks pane has changed now. Okay, now what we are getting is one for the sales and one for the profit. That means whatever changes you make into this particular card, those would be applied into this profits chart, and those you make in the sales card would be applied into this sales chart. Okay, so let's just go with the profit chart first, and instead of automatic, let's just grab this line. So what will happen now is we would be getting this line for the profit, and for the sales we would be getting this bar graph. But I don't want the same colors of lines, I want a different colors of lines. So let's just select this red color for the line so that it is visible. Right, now the thing is we have to combine them together. How do we combine them? This is a really important step. What you need to do is just go here, click on any one of those pills, right click actually on those any one of those pills, and there is this option dual axis. You can just simply click on that, and that's it. Although there have been some changes, like the color changes and the way that they have been changed, so let me just rework with them. Like firstly with the sales, this is the automatically selected thing. We have to select the bar instead of the automatic, change its color to the green color. Here actually this is the different color panel that we are getting right now, and with this you can just work with both of them. So let's just bring sales to green and profit to red. Click on apply. You would be able to see the changes. That looks good. Yeah, of course it looks good, but I want a lighter color for sales so that the profit doesn't get messy up. Yeah, this is looking better. I can click on apply, I can click on OK, and the things are changed. Okay, Now there is this thing that's called the legend that has been created, and that tells us that red color symbolizes profit, yellow color symbolizes sales. Okay, so this is the dual axis chart that you have created. Now one thing important that you might notice is that why is it called dual axis? This is the sales axis, this is the profit axis, and this is the subcategory line. So two axes are present on the single visualization on the single chart. That's why it is known as the dual axis chart. Now what all things you can do in this is, like suppose you go to the path, you can control the way your path is going to look like this. Okay, if you want, you can just control it. You can control its size. That means what is the width of this particular line. You can increase it or decrease it. That's totally up to you. Next, if you want labels, so let's just grab the labels of the profit. So this is showing me the amount of the profits in each of these subcategories, right? Now if you take a look, the chart is organized according to the sales, right? If you want to organize it on the basis of profit, you have to just select this profit pill and go to this particular value. So they would be organized on the basis of profit, that is increasing, ascending order or the descending order, whatever you want. Okay, however sales would be a better criteria because we are using the bar chart for the sales right now. So whether you want in ascending or descending, you can just go for it. Okay, next we have is the details, which we won't be using. Next we have is the tooltip. So actually if you just hover over this profit line, you would be getting the subcategory and its sales. But if you just go over to this point like this, you would be getting the subcategory and the profit. Okay, so that's by default that you are getting. However, if you want to change it, you can change it by clicking on this tooltip icon, and this kind of a box would be there. This, if you remember, is similar to what we had in the title. So everything you already know what you want to do. Like you can use this insert tab anytime you want to change anything. Like you have to just select it and you can simply just change the way it's looking. Okay, here you see the sum of profit. This is actually a really important thing, and we would be discussing it real quick just a few seconds later, why we are getting the sum of the profit over here. So by default, by now you can just analyze that how can you change the tooltips. Just like you did in this profit, you can also go into the sales and change the tooltip part over here also. Like for this, I want to change its color to say orange. Click on OK. Now if you just go, so the sales amount is being shown as orange. Okay, so yeah, that's what we are getting. This is the size panel through which you can control the size of the bars as well, their thickness actually. You want labels, you can get the labels. You want details, you can get the details. And this is all panel. That means whatever changes you do over here would be reflected in both the sales as well as the profit. Suppose you go to the size and increase the size, so the size of the sales bars and the profit line both are being changed, right? So this is the common control thing that you can see, common control panel that we have got. So this is how we can work with a dual axis chart. But here what we have got is just the two things, or just the two parameters which we combined together. In case you want more parameters to be combined, how can you work with it? But before that, the thing is, if you don't want two parameters anymore, if you just want to dissipate them, so what you need to do is you have to right click again and make sure that this dual axis is unchecked. So again your parameters would be splitted like this. You want to delete any of those parameters, you can just drag them and drop them over here, and that would be deleted. But I don't want to do that because that was looking good. That's what we needed to understand over here. That's the dual axis. Okay, now this dual axis is actually working as a common visualization only. So any changes to the formatting that you want to do, you can just go to the format tab and perform any of those changes. Now let's talk about more values that we want to work with. Suppose we have this thing called order date. So if you just drag this order date into the columns, you see there is this kind of a plus option that we have got over here. That means we can expand this order date. Right now we are just getting the year part, but date is comprised of different things like days, months, and then years. So how are we going to work with this? This concept is known as the hierarchies. How are we going to work with this hierarchies? This is what we will see in the next video. That's all for this one.